Okay, we're taking suggestions for Think Tank Thursday songs. To start with some Parliament Funkadelic. It ain't illegal yet. You better do it. And even though that song is, I think, from the 70s, we are more in jeopardy of having thinking outlawed than ever before in the history of our nation. This is our inaugural Think Tank Thursday. It came about because one of our VIP KBLA delegates was complaining that every other day has a name, and today did not have a name. He's a poet. He's an activist in his own right. And he's a stuff starter among our KBLA delegation. Kuahmel, good morning.
I'll take the stuff starter part. Complainer, though? Wow.
No, I don't call you a complainer. Not in general, but you were complaining about Think Tank. Thursday doesn't have a name. That's what.
But it makes it sound like I'm just grievance guy or something like that. That's not true.
No, you're definitely not grievance guy. Not at all. In fact, you actually usually bringing a lot of solutions, hope, and thoughtful kind of this guy reads energy to the conversation.
Nah, let's give it some frame, because that's really a necessary thing, because we're in a very anti-intellectual time, and that's a frightening thing, growing up in the 80s, coming of age in the 90s, and we both saw a lot of consciousness that was around, because Gen X, younger boomers, older millennials, had parents or older brothers and sisters that were coming out of things like the Civil Rights Movement, the Black Power movement, and other things that were there to get our consciousness up and make us smarter. We're watching things like Dick Cavett, where you had these beautiful intellectual conversations. Like, I may not have seen it, much as a kid. All I saw was Dick Cavett on commercials. But at the same time, it was very important to have these folks that were out there to make us smarter. The Gore Vidals of the world, the Noam Chomskys of the world, and a lot of our black thinkers as well, that were there just to feed us, and the poets, like your father, like Haki Madhubuti, like Nika Giovanni. And those folks were giving it to us. They were bringing it. And to see now, people run with these 10 toes down goofy narratives and want to sell it in such a wrong and strong way. We need help out here. We're sick out here.
I feel like we cycle in and out of anti-intellectualism, and so I agree with what you're saying, but I think we've had a couple of peaks and valleys in between, like Dick Cavett and Donald Trump, right? I feel like when we elected, when we elected the Obamas, we really just elected Barack Obama, but it feels like we elected both of them. That was a moment where intellectual, smart became hip again for a little bit.
Well, it also is a matter of seeing a certain polish and being okay with it, and
respectability, is that what you're talking about?
No, not respectability politics. So I think a lot of us do fall for that. And I think there's many things that we kind of let creep into, the zeitgeist that we tend to fall for as well. So much as, accepting everyone being comfortable in their own respective skins, and all of us being pieces of the puzzle to get the job done. Like those of us that are the intellectuals, those of us that are the conscious folks, being there right alongside, the street tribes, and understanding, like, look, we brothers and sisters in this. We could use what you do. You could use what we do. We come together. We are forced to be reckoned with. And that also would add the Black Church. Would add groups like the 5%, which I come from, NOI, the Moors, Rastas. All those folks are very important, and to just kind of play them off like, you're not that important anymore. We're going to do this thing over here. Has caused kind of what we have right now. And I think it did kind of creep up. We saw it with Pac, we saw it with KRS, where the requirement to kind of be a little more of a a person that handled your own business or took things to your own hands, regardless of who it was at the expense of, could cause you a little bit of trouble. And it's important to kind of get back to that grounding.
You're getting a lot of love, of course, in the in the YouTube comments. Kuahmel, yeah, they're showing you a lot of love. E.C. Courtney also says we're undefeated in think tank every day, engaging the enemy. But as a result of your pointing out, okay, I won't say complaining, pointing out that Thursday didn't have a name, we did a contest, and Jacqueline Anderson won for Think Tank Thursday.
Thank you.
So what are your thoughts about what we ought to be doing to mark Think Tank Thursday, other than thinking? As Parliament Funkadelic just pointed out, it's not illegal yet.
Well, I mean, it's a matter of looking at what's missing or things that you're going to think of the thing that I'm not going to necessarily come up with. I'm going to think of something that you might not come up with. As like coming from the 5%, as we get up in the cipher, we're all looking at at our brothers, at our sisters, but we're also peeping in that general direction. So if I'm peeping in the westerly direction, and I got my brother and my sister peeping in a northeasterly direction, southeasterly direction, they're seeing my back. So they got my back. I got your front and got your back, like a lot of my poet folks would say, shout out to Food for Thought and Socks. So it's important that we're getting all the perspectives. And
for those that don't know, Food for Thought and Socks are poets.
Oh yes. I transitioned from the beats and rhymes, I like to say, because rap is poetry. I transitioned to the beats and rhymes coming into the Stillwaters Writers Workshop in 2011, and I caught the bug real crazy. But it was also important because there was such a rich intellectual base there. And those folks just made me smarter and smarter. But back to the think tank point, to have folks that are looking at those things that they see are being brought out, even the TikTok folks right now, a lot of them being Gen Z, some younger millennials, they're bringing up things that a lot of us never understood. Just like El Haj Malik El Shabazz, Malcolm X problematized Christianity and made us be like, oh, we didn't think about that about Christianity. We started seeing different looks at the slang we would use that we didn't think about, the way jobs would work, the way certain industries would work. It made me start to think like, okay, maybe this is why the music industry seems so predatory. It's probably bringing about a disenfranchisement that we might want to try and put a stop to. That's why so many of our great artists back then got jerked. And, did not make the money that they should have made. It's a good thing that Michael Jackson gave Little Richard back his masters. You know what I mean? But because of stuff like that, now that we're bringing more awareness to each other, and you're doing it, for us. Tavis is doing it for us. Folks on other stations. I won't mention those other stations or their names right now, but it's all part of that puzzle. So yeah, to have a think tank Thursday, like, bring in the folks that are gonna give us the meat, give us the good hearty protein vegetables, all that good stuff.
Well, I mean, when you talk about think tanks, it's something that the far right, conservative wing of our country has used really, really effectively. The whole Project 2025
exactly
comes out of a think tank, right, which is Heritage Foundation. Yes, and it's a think tank which then put a skeletal structure together for how they wanted to change.
A long game.
And a long game, and now they're putting meat on those bones. Oh, yeah. And so when we talk about a think tank, even though this is a radio station, and we don't have millions of dollars of dark money to support the work, I think there's something about that collective brain power, envisioning what we want.
Oh, yes.
Which is the terrible thing, is that's what Project 2025 is.
But the thing you got to also understand in that long game point was, I mean, even before the 90s, when we see Newt Gingrich come in with the contract on America, as many call it.
Right.
I mean, the whole thing was the idea of just whittling away at these things that they didn't like and constantly installing and instilling in the masses. You should just like our ideas just because we say them really powerfully. So it's important to come in with that counter. If you take away the conscious music, if you take away those great entertaining books, if you take away those movies, now you have to supplement it. You got to supplement with other things. Now, I mean, it's a bunch of folks on social media, which have, it sometimes can seem a little polluting if you have to deal with like reality TV-ish attitudes and stuff like that. But when you start to get in a more grounded sense, you bring on guests that have been writing great books that are teaching at some of our finest schools, whether it's Howard, Harvard, UCLA, wherever it be. Now you're on to something. But it's a whole point of that we stay energized with that counter. And we got really smart folks that come in the chat, really smart callers, and I really want to see the younger generation start to bring that in. If I may bring up one thing that I'm about to start pretty soon.
Yeah, hold that thought because we're up against the clock, but definitely you may. Daniel Samir Siren says, I vote for book excerpts like one paragraph reading and discussion from Black authors for Think Tank Thursdays. I like that. We'll continue. Don't forget your point, Kuahmel, when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, can make me feel like a spectator in my own life.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It's the #1 prescribed branded chronic migraine preventive treatment.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
This is Secret Clinical Dominating Extra Stinky Stress Sweat. And this is regular deodorant. Secret Clinical in a heat wave. Oh, what a beautiful day. This is regular deodorant. Ugh, I can't. Secret Clinical with workout sweat. Let's run another marathon. And regular deodorant. How much more? Secret is the GOAT. Because nothing fights sweat better. Stay fresher under pressure.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
And one of our VIP KBLA delegates, the ones that show up and show out in the YouTube conversation, is here. Kuahmel is here. He's a poet. He's an activist in his own right. And you were saying you got a new thing that you're launching coming up.
Yeah, just to speak to that VIP part real quick, I was picked up in the KBLA Rolls Royce. They actually have one in this black. Yes, just so you know, look out for the KBLA mothership, y'all. Because it's here to make that connection. I'm kidding. Anyways, over at Black Lantern Books, starting on the Sunday, September 7th. So that afternoon, I'm looking forward to getting those intellectuals in the house, or those folks that are seeking it, those knowledge seekers, those knowledge of self seekers, those folks that are sick of the misinformation, disinformation, hot takes, all the talking in circles business, sick of all those wrong and strong people, but want to get some new ideas going. And again, in a think tank tradition, as we build think tanks, as we build power, because that's what we do here at 1580. We're building power. We're building the connections and showing people the connections. So a new series I'm starting is called Can We Build? And you can check on my social media at Kuahmel, Kuahmel. But yeah, now I want to bring the beautiful people out, the people that don't see their beauty yet, and just reframe everything. Reframe the mindset. We get torn down every which way but loose, all out there in the ether from all these other voices. But we need a place to quiet those voices and start doing actual focused building, which in the Think Tank Thursday tradition is something that is very necessary. So it's one of those off-air, little freer speech type things, but it won't be the toxic speech, and it'll be a way to combat the toxic speech as well. So that's going down Black Lantern Books over on West Boulevard
in Inglewood.
6533. Yes, indeed. Yes, one block down from the Black Muslim Bakery. But it's bringing all the human families together. Because in the 5% tradition, like how I understand it is, it's not to make everybody 5%ers. It's to teach civilization, show the civilization we want to see, build the civilization that we want to build. And that's what a think tank should be doing is to go towards the thing that we're trying to accomplish, instead of just constantly recycling problems, as Prince Poe from Organized Confusion would talk about, constantly recycling problems, rehashing problems, talking all that, we got to do better, why this ain't going to work. No, we come up with what will work, or we come up with ideas. Throw things at the wall, see what sticks, and at any age, any ability, take those risks, but find the things that are going to work.
Molly Bell says Kuahmel sounds just like his points in our chat room. Paul says his think tank's Thursday suggestion is focus on empowerment, education, action, and how to be strategic.
Yes.
And CW Real Estate says be advantageous in this climate and leverage the system for our gain.
Oh yes, all the way, because there's ways to exploit all of these things that as I talked about a little bit during the break, that we often don't get to look at because so many of us are in survival mode. So while some of us are out there just scratching and surviving, we need folks that got the time or doing it for a living, or doing it because it's their passion and their calling, and are looking for the ways that we can get ahead.
Yeah. And getting ahead, of course, can be a mindset. It can also be a dollar situation. But I love that you said the tradition of Think Tank Thursday, since this is our first one. And we start with our traditions on right out the box.
I mean, but it dates back to the onset of the station. I remember when Alonzo Bowden was on, and he would introduce ideas like what elevated stupidity looks like, and a lot of it is just what you all are doing here. Yourself, Tavis, Jesse Jackson Jr., and all the others, is you're feeding us the ways to look at everything going on in life, the science of everything in life. And that's the same thing. I decided, hey, this is what the poems are a forum for. Oh yes, we're going to get it in right now. This book, Peace in the Pocket, that's a great full length collection. Go get that, worldstagepress.org.
Wow, you better keep holding it up there.
That Smurfy Blue book. Yes,
worldstagepress.org.
Oh yes.
You want to do one real quick?
Shoot, let's see what I got for. We're just gonna fire it open at random.
Okay.
And find a flyer.
Some poetry for your Think Tank Thursday. Jerry Anderson says all things counter Project 2025 is Think Tank Thursday. Interesting.
You know what? I'll give you this one. This one's called To the Hungry, the Jobless, and it's red raw. So don't worry, no cuss words. I know better on the radio. But in any event, watching. To tell the hungry men and women of America they are losers, they are bad persons, they are not allowed to improve their situation is a heinous judgment, a supreme crime as shady as the days of the Duvaliers in Haiti. To the jobless of America, allow your will to be tempered, not broken. Feel confidence in your ability to add on. Let your mind be inspired out of retirement, because you are somebody. You are a franchise. You are untapped talent like no other. You will not be denied. The haves are not zebra-striped referees of the humanity of the have-nots. Your day to expand is here. Your time to win is now. To the American struggling on the path to an honest living, you are more relevant than the job search taking 6 months, or the unemployment benefits maxing out at 99 weeks, or student loan and credit card debt exceeding $10,000. You are not just a number. I will that these words ease your slumber. All job seekers across the spectrum, from ex-offender to military veteran, you ain't just the past laid out on resumes and applications. You are a stakeholder in the future of this nation. Never let these judges without robes tell you otherwise.
Not the judges without robes.
That's reality, though. That's the observation that a poet should be doing. That's the observation that any conscious person should be doing and pointing out to folks. That's the observation that a think tank should be using to develop strategy.
What else should poets be doing right now in these times?
Writing stronger, putting out material like I should be doing, because my next book is due. Working title, Life versus Culture. I'm not going to be the shameless plug guy, but get
might
more.
As well, you're here.
No, speaking it into existence, because I didn't want the book to turn into Dr. Dre Detox. For those of you who understand, if you know, you know. But yeah, get the material out. Don't just navel gaze. Make yourself smarter as well, and find those folks that are doing the work and get right next to them. Surround yourself with work doers and begin doing work your GD self. Now, speaking of poetry, real quick, my man Karima J. Sphere, who's part of the Poetry in the Valley Collective, he's got the Poetry Potluck going down on Sunday the 31st, August 31st, over at Balboa Park up in the Valley. And it's going to be crazy, 12 to 6. With Park Jam down to one Sunday a year down in Long Beach, it's time for others to take up the slack, which poets should be doing as well, taking up the slack. So it's going to be a dope cipher, open mic cracking as well. People are bringing out fabulous eats, fabulous drinks, and DJ's going to be spinning them grooves, them tunes, as folks will say, CHOON, them tunes. And it's gonna be so live. So all the camps from the IE to Ventura County, Valley, South Bay, swing on over and make it a good time. We're gonna really have a blast. And
that's the last day of the month in Balboa Park.
Oh yes, and I'm
12
glad,
to 6.
And I'm so happy that the friend of the poets, Dominique DiPrima, allowed me to put that out there just for y'all.
Of course, the friend of the poet, the offspring of the poets, the poet's spawn is here.
Sometimes I say the wrong thing, but then I have people like yourself to help correct me. You know what I mean?
I think they were both right. I mean, I am a friend of the poets, but I'm also. I'm made possible by the poets.
You used to move that pen. You still move the pen from time to time, and you are the queen of the Bay team. Come down to L.A. to bless us, but you are the queen of the Bay team.
That's hilarious.
Yes,
when Money B rapped that I'm the queen of Black Talk Radio, other people started calling me that. Who knew? I just needed a poet or a rapper to give me a title, and everyone would obey it.
I mean, you make California shine, don't you?
Oh, thank you, Kuahmel.
Go to State Warrior.
Thanks for your idea and your helping to birth Think Tank Thursdays.
That's what 5%
much
is
appreciated.
Thank you, Dominique.
800-920-1580 if you want to hop in. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump is suing 2 construction firms over Harlem's deadly Legionnaires outbreak.
It was completely preventable. And so when corporations cut corners, tragedies like this happen.
5 people died and nearly 100 got sick after untreated rainwater in cooling towers spread bacteria. A federal judge has dropped the most serious charges against 2 ex-Louisville detectives in the Breonna Taylor case. The judge ruled Taylor's death couldn't be tied to the warrant. One officer still faces up to 25 years for falsifying documents. And Shaquille O'Neal is stepping into the ring to fight Will Smith's former bodyguard, Charlie Mack. The celebrity boxing match stems from a decades-old feud that began when Mack chopped Shaq in the neck at an autograph event. Shaq says it's payback time. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
San Diego's events calendar is full of flavor. Dig into local wine and food festivals, treat the family to kid-inspired deals all October, and get a taste of glory at the Breeders' Cup World Championship. Plan your trip now at sandiego.org/awesome all year. Funded in part with City of San Diego Tourism Marketing District Assessment Funds.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The LA Sparks got a game-winning jumper at the buzzer Thursday night from Kelsey Plum to beat the Dallas Wings 81-80. But the talk of the night and around the WNBA was Dallas rookie guard Paige Beckers. The former UConn star had a historic night with 44 points, the most ever by a WNBA rookie. She broke the previous rookie mark of 40 points set by Sparks legend Candace Parker in 2008. Beckers made 17 of 21 shots. She's the first WNBA player to shoot 80% in a game while dropping at least 40 points. 14 of Beckers' baskets were mid-range shots. That means Beckers was losing Sparks defenders with her crossover dribble, some shake and bake, and some spin moves to the basket. She put on a show for the 13,000 fans at Crypto.com. For all the Caitlin Clark folks out there, Paige Beckers is no joke. This young lady is very capable of stealing Clark's shine in the WNBA. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
You have cancer. The 3 words no one wants to hear. Of the cancers that impact our community, lung cancer is the most dangerous. More people succumb to lung cancer than colon, breast, and prostate combined. Black men are 12% more likely to develop lung cancer, and cases for Black women are rising. Early detection and comprehensive treatment is the best way to beat this dreaded disease. Providence is a research leader in multi-cancer early detection, offering blood tests that identify fast-spreading cancers that don't show symptoms in early stages. The Providence Los Angeles Integrated Network Cancer Program determines best protocols for each patient, interacting with specialists who share experiences, perspectives, and new findings specific to each case. With over 1,000 board-certified physicians, including top oncologists, surgeons, radiologists, and nurse specialists, Providence delivers whole-person care that understands your culture, values, preferences, and priorities. So, if you hear the words, "you have cancer," all you need is faith and providence.org/cancer.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-290-6207. 800-290-6207. Again, that's 800-290-6207.
Are you ready to be a part of the conversation that will help shape our nation's future? Get ready to join us for the Left Coast Forum, Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech, where progressive voices will come together to tackle the issues that matter most to working families across Los Angeles and beyond. From economic justice to climate action, from healthcare to housing, we're bringing together the brightest minds and most passionate advocates for real solutions and real change. With work workshops, 2 major keynote addresses, and a closing reception with great music and good food. It's the Left Coast Forum, where your voice matters and your ideas take action. Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the LA Progressive. The future won't wait, and neither should you. Mark your calendar now to be there and be heard. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, indeed. We got some great conversation going on around here, and you're invited in, 800-920-1580. The chat room remains lively with great suggestions for Think Tank Thursday. Paul's saying it's the battle against misinformation and disinformation. Then Peter says Think Tank Thursday, more than a name. Outstanding. And I do think some of these other suggestions are good. They're going to coalesce. They're going to come together. The Anti-2025 project. I get that. I want us to be, as I said, on offense here more than defense. But we can have a vision offensive, of an offensive of what we see. And I was thinking about how we often have folks complain that there's no black agenda. That's something I don't agree with. I think some aspects of our so-called black agenda are very well defined and constantly reiterated, i.e., closing the education gap, closing the wealth gap, undoing, reparations in the sense of undoing harms, right? The harms of Jim Crow, the harms of our enslavement and the subsequent badges thereof. But there's another piece of that, which is what is it that we want? What is the world you want to live in? That part of the black agenda, not just what do we need to fix, but what are we building? For me, that's part of Think Tank Thursday. But I'm happy to take your ideas at 800-920-1580 or right here in the comments. Molly Bell says Vicki Lindsay would have loved this. Miss her. Yes. Rest in peace, Vicki Lindsay. Another person who fought for her community, fought against community violence and supported those who had suffered from it. Meanwhile, back in Texas, the Texas lawmakers have gone ahead and passed their little cheaty map, their little Donald Trump mandated map. They are moving forward with that. They've approved it to add new congressional seats for Republicans in the state of Texas. The Democrats left. This standoff has been going on for 2 weeks, but as we knew, it would come to an end, and now it has. Those maps will go to the state Senate. They're going to pass it there, and then it'll be signed off by the governor. So it's on. It's on like Donkey Kong, y'all. This has set it off. Democrats have vowed to push back. Republicans want to push back against that. So the great gerrymandering war has begun. And here we go. California, of course, leading the charge. Our plan to do mid-decade redistricting has to go to voters. It will go to voters. It will go to voters in November, partly because the California Supreme Court has rejected Republican efforts to stop it. Republicans were trying to say that it was illegal. They wanted to block the plan by Newsom and the state legislature to just temporarily pause our maps that were drawn by the Independent Redistricting Commission to be triggered by what they're doing in Texas, right? State Supreme Court said, nope, we are declining your emergency request. So the California legislature will vote on 3 bills today that one would allow a special election to happen to redraw the state's congressional maps and create 5 new Democratic House seats, which perfectly would counter Texas because they've created 5 new seats. Of course, we don't know how that plays out. Will voters approve it? And then what other Republican states are going to be successful in redrawing their maps? And how does it end up on balance? But as I've said repeatedly, of course, we would prefer an independent redistricting commission, but we cannot sit here and let Republicans create these permanent majorities like they have on the Supreme Court. How did that happen? May not be permanent, but it's your lifetime and my lifetime permanent because they cheated. They gamed the system. They would not allow President Barack Obama to have his nomination of Merrick Garland, and then they crammed through Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court by cheating, by bending the rules, by making their own doggone standards. And I'm not saying we should lie, cheat, and steal like they do all the time, but we're not bringing a knife to a gunfight. And so good for the state legislature, good for Gavin Newsom for doing something. Even if at the end of the day they come out on top on balance by 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 seats, we fought, we won, we tried. We didn't just sit here like a bunch of wimps and let these folks walk all over us. And we have to see, what is going to happen with this election. I believe Californians are going to say yes to this because we see what's happening. The way that the GOP is cheating, the way that they are taking less people and drawing these creative, crazy time maps to give less people more clout. And I saw a great graphic of this. I don't have it in front of me. But the way the districts are drawn, it takes 2 million voters, 2 million black voters to have the same voting clout in Texas as 1.5 million not black voters. And that's because of the way the maps are drawn, which proves that it's anti-democratic because it eliminates one man, one woman, one vote. My vote should have just as much power, clout, as your vote. And the way they've drawn these maps in Texas, that's not the case. Black people's vote literally has less clout than others in Texas the minute these maps go through. So we have to fight, even if they have the numbers. We have to fight because there's a possibility we win, number one. Number two, California, boom, 5 seats, neutralizes Texas. At least it won't be a 10 or 20 seat permanent advantage that they create. And maybe it can be stopped because there's all different states, and all different states have all different rules for what it would take to do mid-decade redistricting. Some of them will fail. They won't all be able to steamroll on through like Texas. So we ought to hold the line, hold the line, hold the line, and hold the line. 800-920-1580. That's the number if you want to get on the mic. Elon Musk facing a big lawsuit. I'll share that with you. Oh, this is a good one when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580.
More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least like to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Are you ready to be a part of the conversation that will help shape our nation's future? Get ready to join us for the Left Coast Forum, Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech, where progressive voices will come together to tackle the issues that matter most to working families across Los Angeles and beyond. From economic justice to climate action, from healthcare to housing, we're bringing together the brightest minds and most passionate advocates for real solutions and real change. With workshops, 2 major keynote addresses, and a closing reception with great music and good food. It's the Left Coast Forum, where your voice matters and your ideas take action. Saturday, October 25th at LA Trade Tech. Brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and the LA Progressive. The future won't wait, and neither should you. Mark your calendar now to be there and be heard. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this? We didn't think so. You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive KBLA Talk 1580.
Remember during the election when the world's richest man offered $1 million, a chance to win $1 million a day if he would sign some stupid petition in support of the MAGA agenda? Remember that? He was saying you could win $1 million every day if you would just sign this petition to support the U.S. Constitution, right? And really what it was doing is kind of bribing people to register to vote and vote for Trump. And now, as of yesterday, as of Wealth Building Wednesday, a federal judge has ordered Musk to face a lawsuit from voters accusing him of bilking them into signing that petition. Basically, the lawsuit says he tricked them, and they're right. He did trick them for more than one reason. One of those reasons being that he had already designated who he was going to give those dollars to. And so the contest was fake, as it turned out. One plaintiff from Texas, Jacqueline McCafferty, says that the Musk Political Action Committee, America PAC, wrongly induced her to provide personal identifying information as part of the giveaway. Yeah, because they were trying to, well, who knows what they were trying to do, but we can allege that they were trying to register voters. The lawyers for Musk and the PAC are not responding to press inquiries about this, but the whole reason for even starting America PAC was to support Trump's presidential run in 2024, and it successfully did that. What we found out in the middle of that contest was that he already had a list of who he was giving $1 million to, and he was basically pretending it was a contest and getting unwitting MAGA folks or possible MAGA-leaning people to give up their personal information to sign a so-called petition and to encourage them to register to vote for MAGA's agenda. They had to provide their name, their address, their email address, their phone number, and Musk tried to get this dismissed. He said he had proof that he wasn't running an illegal lottery. The judge said, no, you don't. No, you don't. See you in court. So I love that for him. And yeah, so what? He was appointed to the bench by Barack Obama in 2014. Judges matter. They're saying they were harmed because they had to give out their personal and private information on a false promise. That sounds like harm to me. That's like grifting 101. You know, it reminds me of the Medicaid commercial. Hang up the phone. Do not give out your personal information. It's a scam. It's the Elon Musk version of that. So yeah, well, you can say what you want to, but one of the main things that scammers try to do is get your personal information. And that's exactly what he was doing by offering $1 million, which wasn't even a real $1 million because he had already created a list of who was going to get that money. That's the definition of a grift. Is that Dwight from the city of Compton? Okay. All right, on a Think Tank Thursday, Dwight straight out of Compton.
Thank you for this Think Tank Thursday. It's a great idea because we have to come up with as many ideas as we can to fight this Republican dictatorship. It's not all they want to do is turn our democracy over to a Trump dictatorship. And Dominique, thank you again for my Nipsey Hussle tap card and my Metro and KBLA gear that I came to the station, picked up for being caller number 40 last week. I want to thank you and everyone here at the station for that.
Absolutely. Couldn't go to a more deserving individual. It was just that we were laughing that you would randomly be caller 40 since you're one of our day ones.
Oh, yeah. You know, I'm down with you guys from day one, Dominique. And I just wanted to also thank everyone there, KBLA family, the hardworking postal workers, and just tell them to keep fighting. Don't get discouraged. And everyone that's going to be 18 by next year, please go to vote.gov and register to vote and vote in every election. Vote for your council person, your mayor, vote for the president when they have a president election. Please vote, because without your vote, you see what happens in Texas. I mean, these Republicans they just making up districts that are miles and miles long to take all the black elected representatives that we have out of Congress and take all the Democrats out of Congress. I know if you have a problem, call your council person and tell them the things that you're unhappy with. You know, don't just not vote.
Absolutely.
But we got to continue to fight, Dominique, and thank KBLA for being our voice in the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dwight. Dwight called me at 800-920-1580. It's not too late to do the same. KBLA, Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to here with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-290-6207. 800-290-6207. Again, that's 800-290-6207.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least liked to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this? We didn't think so. You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive KBLA Talk 1580.
And we're glad that you're here, glad that you are part of our KBLA delegation, reminding you can tap in on social media. Even when I'm not on the mic, I'm at diprimaradio, DIPRIMA, on every platform. I admit Instagram is my favorite. I'm doing more on TikTok these days, though, and I do have a YouTube channel. So please follow, like, and subscribe. Of course, there's KBLA 1580, and I love to keep the conversation going, even when I'm off the mic. So hit me up there, say a thing, do a thing, make a suggestion around how we're celebrating Think Tank Thursday. All of that is on the table for you. Tomorrow we're going to be having Dr. D'Artagnan Scorza, who is the LA County Racial Equity Director, as our Freedman Friday guest. So we'll get a little view from the county of what, where, how, who around reparations. We keep this going every single Friday. We are committed to being part of the solution when it comes to reparations, which I feel is something we need to push the envelope on right now, because right now is when we actually have some momentum. I've been talking about this for many, many years, and I've never seen us at a point like where we are now, where we're really starting to make some headway around this reparations conversation. And I think the only way to keep that headway going is by pushing the envelope, holding the line, continuing to move the needle. And one of the ways we do that is by talking about it, normalizing it, helping people understand what reparations is and what it is not. And I just enjoyed my conversation with Dr. William Sandy Darity so much around this topic. Of course, he's one of the leading experts on reparations, and you can hear the whole thing. It's on YouTube, KBLA 1580 YouTube, but also all of our shows, including the conversation with Dr. Darity, are available wherever you get your podcasts for free. And we need you to, be part of our informed electorate, to be part of the folks that hold the app on your phone. It's new and improved. It's upgraded. It does all kinds of cool things. And these are the communities that help make us stronger. Our social media community, our app users, and even especially the ones that comment, the ones that have something to say. We appreciate you. This is what every single Black-owned business needs, and certainly we at KBLA, as the only Black talk radio west of the Mississippi, we appreciate you holding it down and shoring it up. I'm Dominique DiPrima, looking forward to my conversation next, how to keep your kids safe from sexual violence. Dr. Andrea Anthony joins us live in the studio on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump is suing 2 construction firms over Harlem's deadly Legionnaires' outbreak.
it was completely preventable. And so when corporations cut